Thank you all for being here today. You know, life has a way of testing you when you least expect it, putting you in a place where you have to dig deep and stand tall all on your own. That's right, I'm talking about rising alone. Now, rise alone might sound like a solitary journey, and it is. But let me tell you this, it's in that solitude where you find your strength. It's in that solitude where you discover who you really are. Strength is a word often associated with power, resilience, and the capacity to overcome. But true strength doesn't just appear in a show of force or through the crowd's applause. True strength reveals itself when you're alone in those quiet, empty spaces where it's just you, your thoughts, and your raw, unfiltered self. It's in these moments of solitude that we come face to face with our doubts, our fears, our deepest insecurities. And that's precisely when we find out who we really are and what we're truly capable of. Solitude isn't always easy. In fact, it can be one of the hardest things a person can experience. When there's no one around to validate us, no comforting words from others to drown out the noise in our minds, we're left with just our own voice, our own will. But in that silence, when the external distractions fade away, we get a chance to hear the inner voice we often ignore. This voice, sometimes faint at first, becomes our compass, our guiding force. It's the voice that pushes us when we think we can't go any further, that whispers keep going, even when everything in us wants to stop. Facing your inner doubts is a test of endurance, patience, and self-belief. It's all too easy to give up, to listen to that part of you that says you're not good enough, not strong enough. But pushing past those doubts is where transformation happens. Doubts are like shadows. They loom large and dark, but only hold power if you let them. In solitude, you get to face those shadows head-on, understanding that they're nothing but obstacles designed to challenge you, not to define you. In solitude, you learn to rely on yourself, to draw from a well of strength you may not have realized was there. It's a process of building inner resilience, one small step at a time. Each time you face a challenge alone and push through, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your character. This foundation is what you'll stand on for the rest of your life. It's what keeps you grounded, solid, unshakable. And because it's built from your own struggles, your own victories, no one can ever take it away from you. Relying on your inner voice, on your own strength, builds a kind of independence that frees you. You're no longer swayed by the opinions or judgments of others because you know you faced your hardest moments alone and come out stronger. That's the beauty of finding strength through solitude. It equips you with a kind of armor, an inner peace, and a power that doesn't fade. You become unbreakable, resilient, and capable of standing tall, no matter what comes your way. And it's this strength found in moments of solitude that lasts a lifetime. Self-reliance is the ability to look inward and draw from your own strength, confidence, and resources, knowing that what you hold within is enough to face life's challenges. Rising alone is a testament to that reliance on oneself, a journey where you recognize that, while support from others is valuable, you don't need it to succeed or to validate your worth. It's about trusting that you have the resilience, the capability, and the courage to stand on your own. When you rise alone, you learn to tune out the voices that might doubt you, the voices that say you need others to succeed, or that you're only as good as the affirmation you receive. But self-reliance isn't about rejecting others, it's about not being dependent on anyone else to know your value. It's recognizing that every individual has the power within them to set their course, to take risks, to face failures, and to grow from them. It's an inner compass that points not to what others want from you, but to what you know you are capable of achieving. Trusting yourself takes courage, especially in a world that often tells us we need validation to feel secure. Rising alone forces you to confront those messages, to stand against them, and to declare internally and through your actions that you are enough. Self-reliance is that quiet, steady voice inside reminding you that your abilities aren't contingent on others' approval, that you're not defined by someone else's version of success. This sense of self is liberating. It frees you from constantly seeking external affirmation and gives you the confidence to walk your own path, even when others might not understand or support it. Challenges will come, as they do for everyone, and self-reliance gives you the tools to navigate them. When you encounter obstacles, you don't immediately look around for help, you look within. You ask yourself, how can I solve this? What strength, what knowledge, what experience can I draw on? And even when the answer doesn't come right away, you trust that you'll find it, that you're capable of handling whatever comes. This self-trust builds resilience. Each time you overcome something on your own, you grow stronger, more confident in your abilities. This is what makes self-reliance such a powerful force. It's an ongoing journey of proving to yourself that you are capable, that you have what it takes. And when you stand tall after facing your struggles alone, you realize something profound. Self-reliance isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about knowing that no matter what comes, you'll be able to face it, handle it, and even grow from it. Rising alone, in the end, builds a kind of strength that's unshakable, a kind of faith in yourself that no one else can give or take away. And that is what makes you truly unstoppable. An unshakable foundation is built not through easy victories, but through the quiet resilience that comes from rising alone. When you're faced with challenges with no one else to lean on, every choice, every effort, every victory, and even every setback becomes a part of your core. It's a foundation made of self-belief and hard-earned growth, something that no one else can touch or take away from you. Rising alone requires an inner resilience, a strength that only reveals itself when it's tested. In those moments, you dig deep, finding parts of yourself you didn't know were there. You may stumble, and there may be times when you question yourself, but every step forward is another brick laid in your foundation. The beauty of this process is that each difficulty you face alone gives you more certainty in your ability to endure and to overcome. You learn that resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving through adversity. It's about building an inner strength so profound that external circumstances cannot shake it. When you go through challenges without leaning on others for reassurance, you forge a self-belief that is entirely your own. Others may try to influence you, may even doubt you, but when you have built your foundation in solitude, those voices lose their power. The only voice that truly matters is your own. And it is this voice, born from personal experience and persistence, that becomes the anchor to your unshakable foundation. You gain a deep-seated confidence, not because others have lifted you up, but because you have lifted yourself up time and again. In a world where circumstances change, where people come and go, where even success and failure can be fleeting, having an unbreakable foundation is priceless. It means you can stand firm no matter what storms may come. This foundation doesn't just support you in times of need, it propels you forward. It becomes the platform on which you build the life you want, the goals you pursue, and the dreams you chase. With a foundation like this, you don't rely on luck or on the approval of others. Instead, you rely on what you've built within. Such a foundation brings a peace and security that isn't dependent on anyone or anything else. It's a strength that no one can take away because no one else gave it to you. It was built moment by moment through your own choices and perseverance. This unshakable foundation is your greatest asset, something that stands strong through any test. And when you have that kind of resilience within you, there's nothing you can't face, nothing that can truly defeat you. You've built yourself up from the inside out, and that foundation, grounded in self-belief and resilience, will hold you steady for a lifetime. A true champion doesn't rely on applause or the recognition of others to validate their success. Real success isn't found in the spotlight, it's achieved quietly, often in solitude, without an audience to witness it. A champion's strength and purpose come from within, driven by a commitment to push forward, endure, and grow regardless of who's watching. In a world obsessed with external validation, it's easy to get caught up in seeking approval. But the true mark of a champion is the ability to keep going, even when there's no one around to give that encouragement. Endurance is the cornerstone of champions who rise alone. They're the ones who don't need the crowd's cheers to feel worthy or driven. They're motivated by something much deeper, something unshakable. Champions know that the hard work, the countless hours, and the perseverance behind the scenes are where real victories are forged. This journey often requires a lot of self-discipline and even more patience. There will be failures, setbacks, and frustrations along the way, but champions understand that these challenges are part of the path. They embrace each obstacle not as a reason to give up, but as an opportunity to refine their skills, strengthen their resolve, and stay committed to their goals. Standing tall without an audience teaches a champion invaluable lessons. They learn to be accountable to themselves, to set their own standards, and to be their own biggest critic and cheerleader. This level of self-awareness and responsibility creates a unique kind of resilience, one that doesn't depend on external praise, but on an inner sense of purpose and determination. When there's no one around to see your efforts, no applause to signal a job well done, it's the inner conviction that matters. This conviction is what keeps champions going, knowing that the journey itself is a reward, even if no one else sees the battles fought or the sacrifices made. Achieving your goals in silence has a power of its own. It builds a quiet confidence, one that doesn't need to be proven or displayed. Champions understand that real success is not about being celebrated, but about pushing boundaries, surpassing personal limitations, and achieving something meaningful on their terms. They're not swayed by the highs and lows of public opinion. Instead, they're rooted in the strength and satisfaction that come from knowing they did it on their own without needing validation. A champion who rises alone creates an unbreakable foundation of self-reliance, resilience, and integrity. They're driven by a purpose that isn't affected by fleeting attention or the praise of others. Their achievements are for themselves, marking milestones in a journey defined by persistence and personal growth. These champions don't need applause to be fulfilled, because they know that true success is not about the noise around them, it's about the strength, courage, and determination they carried within, all the way to the end. In the end, rising alone is more than a journey, it's a transformation. It's about discovering the strength within you, even when no one else sees it, and embracing the quiet power of solitude to build a foundation that nothing and no one can shake. When you learn to rely on yourself, you uncover a resilience that doesn't depend on applause or the validation of others. You're no longer swayed by external voices because you know the truth. You are enough, capable, and complete on your own. This journey shapes you into a champion, someone who stands tall without needing an audience. True champions don't seek recognition, they seek growth, courage, and purpose. They rise alone, grounded in self-belief and the understanding that success is not defined by the cheers of others, but by the personal victories no one else sees. Remember, enduring the hard times in silence, trusting yourself when no one else does, and standing firm in your truth is what makes you unstoppable. The world may only see the surface, but you know the battles you've won in private, the strength you've cultivated from within, and the power of an unshakable foundation. So stand tall, stay true, and let your journey speak for itself. Rise alone, knowing that the champion within you is more than enough. Because in the end, the greatest victory is becoming who you were always meant to be: strong, resilient, and complete.